The most I can do is invite you to be defenseless against having a greater experience. But I don't hold the keys to the power you only have to lower your defenses.
Can't we do this together?
No, you can't.
Okay. I mean, I'm asking because
Can't who do it together?
you and I, or my guidance and me.
Only you have your hands on the switch. Only your decisions are creating the wall of defense. I cannot reach it. I can only invite you. I can only behave with you in a way that makes you feel safe enough to risk the chance to lower your defenses. But you have to lower the defense. You have to want it more than you want the defense. I stand with you. I stand beside you. I stand within your mind. And I am present with you to encourage you. But you have to want to lower the defense and let more in.
So it's a matter of recognizing what the defenses are.
Well, what the defenses are that are standing most prominently in the way will rear their ugly head the minute you genuinely invite me in, defenselessly invite me in. The moment you're willing to let yourself really be in the void in your mind without a backup plan, without an alternative. The moment you lay yourself on the line, so to speak. That's when you'll find what the defenses are that stand in the way. What am I saying? Why am I saying this? So that you don't go on an intellectual hunt for what the defenses are. That'll keep you busy for another century.
Don't want to. Don't want to do this.
Okay.
Thanks.
You are welcome. Hands. Right here.
I kind of have the need to know, being that we've talked about the ego and we've experienced what it's like when we're being the ego, all the pain and suffering, and we talk about and our connection with God, and that's where our source is. And it would help me to know what it looks like when we're awakened. I know it's not time or space, and to say that what would it be like to be with awakened beings in a typical day, I know it's not appropriate, but can you shed some light as far as what it's like when we are awake?
Not at this time.
Okay, so we're not ready yet.
I really want to confine it to
But that's my point, is that we're hearing pages and pages of ego stuff, pages and pages of turning to the altar. Can you offer a little bit, what's it look like? What's the payoff? I know it's good. I know it is, but I don't, maybe I'm more visual. I need to see it to keep it in my mind as when I'm not connecting. when I forget to connect, when I am working on the MAD, mutually agreed upon definitions. And I realize that you would say that, and that's okay, because that's something that I'll just take with me and you, and we'll work on, or I'll open up to it with you. I just wonder, maybe we'll be ready. I know you'll start talking about that.
Yes, it is not valuable to have an image, let us say, of what everything looks like when you're awake. You know, the way is straight and narrow, and the place where the attention needs to be, that constitutes the gate to awakening, if you will, is to be present with what you experience as needs, humanly speaking, and to be present on behalf of others relative to their needs. Because that's where the discomfort is. That's where you lack confidence. The experience of need is unsettling, isn't it? Whatever the form of need that you have is unsettling. It's on. No, it was off. I don't know how. And so the call is for you to be willing to not try to escape that uneasy, unsettling experience, but to be in it out of control. Now, when you're there, it becomes really easy to reach out to God. Because the place where you're out of control is the place where you're not exercising control. Your defenses are lower. And that's where you can say, Father, intellectually, and perhaps I even feel it somewhat, I know that it's not my birthright to be suffering, and I know that I'm suffering because I'm not seeing truly here. I'm not seeing things as they are. Come into me, be with me, talk to me, uncover to me the truth that I need to know. I know that it's my birthright not to be suffering. Or, I know it's my friend's birthright not to be suffering. What's the answer here? What needs to be known that will demonstrate that the suffering is illegitimate and therefore doesn't have a leg to stand on, and that will cause it to disintegrate and fall away, leaving me or my friend in the state of perfection and peace and wholeness that it's our birthright to be experiencing? That is where the attention needs to be. You don't need a vision of the future. You need to be willing to be very much in the present and very much in touch with need, because need is a call for correction. Need is not something to wallow in. Need is not something to react to. Need is simply one of those signs you're asking for. The bell that says, do something different. The need is just a call for correction. So you go to the source of correction by reaching out to God right then and there. And if you're not getting an answer, you may know that you're still practicing too much defense. So you've got to, one way or another, find a way to withdraw your investment in what you want, meaning your defense, and what you want, meaning the clarity that will heal. In the middle of your need is where your opportunity to actually shift gears exists. You got to go there and go into the void and let the sudden shift of perception occur. Now you can hold out for some sort of image to inspire you, which I promise you will never come, and use that as a means of becoming so frustrated with going for what you want instead of what's needed. Or you can go ahead and give your attention where I've told you just now it needs to be. And that's where you will find breakthrough occurring and movement occurring. Because again, the essence of all that we're talking about lies in you're arriving at that place within yourself where it's hard to maintain the farce, and that's what you call a problem. And where you arrive at a willingness to dare to abandon the control that keeps the farce going. And to actually want something that's not already included in the definitions you've given to everything. And you become vulnerable enough, unprotected enough to let the answer in. There's just no way to get past that point of inner honesty and inner decision and the risk that you feel you're facing when you abandon control. And then you must risk the chance. There is no way to get past that. When you hear people saying, "Oh, I just love the truth," well, you probably aren't talking to someone who's experienced much of it. When you've talked to someone who's experienced much of it, that one will talk about the stress, the seeming risk, the courage it took to move across the threshold. And they will tell you that they found it to be transforming. And that the more frequently they experienced it, the more trust came into their lives. But they won't be giddy and sweet and effusive about, "Oh, I just love the truth." They hear something, "That's a keeper." That's something to hold on to. It's just sort of floating around on the periphery of what truth's about, what the Course is about, what waking up is about. So forget about what it's going to look like and get into the meat and potatoes of it. That's where I would have you bring your attention. You are welcome. And I will leave it there for today. You ask good questions. You listen well. And aren't you glad to know that any insistence that you have upon going for the gusto and succeeding in becoming a real independent ego will not work because you can't outlast me. I love you all.
Love you.
Okay.